Maya deludes man at every step. Just as a frog in the jaws of death. You know, the snakes, they don't have ears. Snakes, they don't have ears, they cannot hear. But they can feel the vibration. The body is made such they can feel the vibration. And the eyes of snakes, they have that magnetic powers. Magnetic powers. So when a frog gets within the range, magnetic range of the snake, if the frog wants to escape, the frog cannot escape. They have a certain range, magnetic range. When the frog by chance gets into the magnetic range area of the snake, the frog wants to escape, but the snake looks like this, emitting more of the magnetic powers. And the frog starts crying. Trrr, 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 trrr. It wants to escape, but it cannot escape on account of the powerful magnetic range. So the snake moves slowly. And what happens? It does not catch hold of the frog from the front. It goes behind and catches the frog from the behind. Now see, the frog is half swollen, gradually getting into the mouth of the snake, gradually getting into the mouth of the snake. In case all of a sudden it sees a fly in front of him, the frog, if it is going to see a fly just flying in front of that, it stretches out its tongue to catch a fly. Forgetting that it has been half swallowed, more than half swallowed by a snake, within a moment it will get into the stomach of the snake. But it tries its level best to catch a fly. Similarly, man who has brought with him the one certain event of death, we are half swallowed by the death, clutches at every passing phantom. I want house, I want car, I want property, I want everything, forgetting that he has been half swallowed by the death. Half swallowed by death. And gradually we are getting into it, and at the last moment, by the time you realize, it becomes very late. So just as a frog in the jaws of death clutches at every passing phantom, tries to catch a fly, similarly man who at his birth has brought with him the one certain event of death, clutches at every passing phantom and vainly hopes to quench his thirst in the mirage. Wealth breeds dacoits. Name and fame create enemies. I know certain people who are so famous, they say, we were happier when we were unknown. Name and fame create enemies. Power and ambition result in wars and riots. Selfishness brings on famine and internal revolts. Man wails, where is happiness? Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, where is happiness? The echo answers, where? True happiness, which have been experienced by saints, seers, prophets, paigambers, the ascetics, these great seeker of happiness, they realize that true happiness can be had only in the infinite. There is no pleasure in the finite. The infinite is immortal and eternal, and the finite is perishable and transitory. That happiness which will be perennial, of which we cannot be deprived of, which will not lead us to or give room for a tinge of misery, in other words, bliss absolute. That is the happiness, that is true happiness. That is the happiness we long for. That is real bliss, that state in which one sees no other, one hears no other, one feels no other, one thinks of no other. Diversity is finite. One who has this transcendental experience sees the Atman and Atman alone, within and without. The Atman is homogeneous essence. The entire universe is one mass of consciousness. All beings the entire humanity, plant life, animal kingdom, and even what are known as inanimate objects have all the root in consciousness. One who sees his own Atman in all beings and all beings in his own Atman becomes fearless. He is not deluded by the actions of senses. Sorrow melts away before his sunny gaze of bliss. He is not afraid of anything, nor is anyone afraid of him. Bliss fills his very being, and this divine bliss is infectious. He who comes in contact with him is infected with this divine bliss. His heart flows out to one and all, animate and inanimate. He perceives unity in diversity. As our Swamiji says, the Atmic knowledge is not obtained through learning, by frequent hearing of the scriptures, or by a sharp intellect. The Atman reveals itself to one whom it chooses. Without his grace, not even a blade of grass can move. Complete self-surrender to the Lord within the inner chamber of the heart is needed. All sadhanas aim at the one and only result, annihilation of the ego. जब तक हमारी ईगो समाप्त नहीं होगा, हमारा कुछ प्राप्त नहीं होगा। शिरडी के साईं बाबा परम त्याग के मूर्ति थे, अब अगाध ब्रह्मज्ञानी थे। अक्सर वो कहा करते थे, ये मैं और मेरा जो है ये अहंकार का चिन्ह है। मैं और मेरा अहंकार का चिन्ह है। जब तक इसको आप त्यागेंगे नहीं, आप अल्लाह को क्या पाएंगे? तो कोशिश करें। The Lord Krishna communicates his message. You know, as we have verbal interactions, what about the Lord? Do they have verbal interactions? What is their language? They communicate through music. Just like Ganpati communicates through conch, Saraswati communicates through veena, Krishna communicates through flute, Shiva communicates through damru. The Lord, what Krishna communicates? He says, empty thyself, I shall fill thee. Empty thyself, I shall fill thee. No sooner the ego is destroyed, the void created thus is soon filled up with the Lord's grace, which flows in abundance. But the recipient of the Lord's grace alone is the self realized. This is the emphatic declaration of Upanishads. Renunciation is necessary, but the inner renunciation born of the true knowledge that the Atman is akarta and abhokta, and that it is not affected by the actions of the sense organs, is considered preferable to external renunciation of physical actions. Renunciation from within, from within. Man must perform his duties in the proper spirit. Such actions do not bind him, but on the contrary, they help him to liberate himself and lead him to attain the real, infinite happiness, the real, imperishable, inexpressible happiness within. That is what our Swamiji wanted to say. Be dutiful, be obedient to your parents, neglect not your duty, and forget not the real happiness is within and never without. So this is one of the messages of Swami Karunananda.